Hello! Happy Crimson Tuesday! It's 8 p.m. I made it. I think this might be the first or second time ever I've been on time. Mousimus, hello, good to see you. Good to see you. I think, hopefully, I don't know how good the green screen is looking right now. I tried to fix it, but my hair looks a little green. The green screen looks better when the image is smaller, so it's kind of okay right now. Blaholton, good to see you. Happy Crimson Tuesday. Yeah, I managed to I'm incorporating the EGA necklace into the outfit today. Although it looks like the green bead is struggling with the green screen a little bit. Everything else seems kind of okay. I felt like in a way it matched the dress that I'm wearing, so that it doesn't really stand out that much from the dress. Oh, yes, everything is very orange. Yes. So yes, Happy Crimson Tuesday. We're on time. Amazing. Today is actually a combo stream with Dan. Dan will be on later. Oh, farewell! It's farewell to Nova Scotia. Farewell Nova Scotia. My favorite track on this entire Great Canadian Tune Book. So we're starting off really well tonight. Yeah. So tonight Dan will be along later to compose a piece, and I have something already planned out. We've got something already figured out that we're going to be working on tonight, and it's a piece that definitely needs to be in. So I'm glad we're going to be working on it. Slash Studio, great to see you. Crimson Good Tuesday is never late. It appears exactly when it means to. I like that. And I know where it's from, and I like it. J Makes Games, Happy Crimson Good Tuesday, hello as well. And yes, hello to chat. And yeah, I'm glad Slat Studio is here today because you may have seen on Twitter, Slat Studio just launched a Kickstarter for Betrayed Alliance 2, which is part 2 of his trilogy for his EGA text parser games, Betrayed Alliance. And it's doing really well. It's doing really well so far. I think I just saw that you've made your modest goal that you set, which is to help pay for a musician to come on board, Brandon Bloom, musically inspired on Twitch, who we sometimes see in chat here. But yeah, to sort of be able to get some really good music in, have Brandon use a Roland MT32, which he is very good at doing, so that's something to look forward to. And I read on the Kickstarter page that additional funds for the project will go toward tons of other things like printing manuals, making manuals for the game, just upgrading art assets, and I also think it said it's overhead design. Ryan Slash Studio is doing this out of passion and love, and the game will be free if whether you're a backer or you're not a backer. The first game is available. The second game will also be free, and what he's just looking for is a way to cover some costs. So I think it said, yeah, Nightbot already dropped that link in chat. Farai, good to see you. Yeah, so Nightbot has it in chat, the Kickstarter for Betrayed Alliance. And I encourage you very much to support it if you can. It's EGA, it is a text parser, and you know those are my two big things, so I'd love to see more of that. Eden with, oh no, your internet's awful right now. Yeah, so far, the pixel pushing and the musical note pushing. Pixel pushing we haven't really started yet, but we will getting started on it really soon. I'm just going to check my notes. Okay, so I think what I'm going to start with is I'm going to quickly introduce myself to anyone who's new, run the trailer, and then I'm going to talk about. I had a question I wanted to ask people on Twitter, so I'll be asking it to you guys after all that, and then showing the holiday card stuff for the previous years that I did it. I'm actually going to be showing them in Photoshop, so they're going to be in beautiful, perfect EGA and perfect pixels, and showing some bonuses and stuff that you can get mailed to you if you want. Slash do, don't worry. Yeah, that's on. Nightbot's got it on a timer, so Nightbot's going to be saying that throughout the night. And I also have exclamation mark BA will also spit that out. So if someone's asking about it in chat Slash Studio, you can just go exclamation mark BA and it'll give you the same links. Perfect pixels. Yes. Yeah. So welcome to the stream. I'm Julia Minamata. I am the game developer behind the Crimson Diamond. Which is a mystery adventure game that is EGA, just like Betrayed Alliance 2 and Betrayed Alliance 1, of course. A text parser Mine is set in Canada in the early 1900s, and you play Nancy Maple, who is behind me, and you get to go to stay at a lodge over a few days and listen in on conversations and possibly solve some mysteries and find out if there is a diamond in your area that you've been sent to. And that's that. I will run the trailer for those who are not familiar with the game or the type of gameplay it is. It kind of harkens back to. I don't want to call them old games because I was playing them when I was a kid, so I don't like that connection. But games from 30 years ago, let's say, that were really popular at that time, that Slad Studio is working to bring back, and hopefully I can help bring that back too. This particular style of text parser adventure game has always been my favorite, so I'm really excited to eventually launch the game. There is a playable demo on Steam of Chapter 1. It's also on itch.io, or itch.io, or however that's pronounced. But I will run the trailer now so you can see for yourself. Oh, let me turn the music off first. And my mic down.
Crimson, Ontario was once a prosperous, lively mining town. But that was a long time ago. Now it's quiet, nearly deserted, and some folks aim to keep it that way. Nancy Maple is an aspiring mineralogist assigned to follow the trail of a dazzling diamond. An intriguing cast of characters has converged under one roof, each meaning to get their own way. Or else. Will Nancy untangle the mysteries and machinations before it's too late? Will the sleepy town of Crimson shine once more? Find out in The Crimson Diamond, an upcoming adventure game by Julia Minamata. The Crimson Diamond demo is available on Steam and itch.io for Windows PC and Mac OS.
Hello, that person 122. I'm glad you could finally catch me live. That's wonderful. And welcome. Musically Inspired is here. Speaking of Musically Inspired, Brandon Bloom, we were just talking about you and how you are planning on using the Roland MT32 for Betrayed Alliance 2, which is super exciting. And of course, me and Dan are big fans of that. Of course, Dan Polakar, the musician on the Crimson Diamond, he is going to be streaming with us later tonight. We have an original track that he's going to be also using the Roland MT32. So, really looking forward to that. Grindislav, happy Crimson Tuesday. Bumble Bear, good to see you. Let's see. I'm going to shout out Grindislav, of course. Grindislav is Francisco Gonzalez, who is the amazing dev behind Golden Wake, Lamplight City, and the upcoming Rosewater. Francisco, he streams on Wednesdays for Wild West Wednesdays at 1 p.m. Eastern. He also uses Adventure Game Studio. Betrayed Alliance, I know, uses SCI Companion and SCI Editor, and I have so much respect for you for using those tools because I looked at them once and I thought, this is kind of beyond me, so good on you for being ultra authentic. But yeah, Francisco and I are using Adventure Game Studio, which is a tool I definitely recommend if you're interested in making adventure games, point and click or text parser, however you like doing them. Mamma mia, Devor, good to see you. Yes, we did a Slat Studio shout out, and anyone can with BA. There it is, Betrayed Alliance. Oh, that person 122 says, I love the demo. I never played adventure games as a kid, so you got me into the genre. Also, you helped me a lot on pixel art and AGS project for your school. That person 122, that is the absolute best thing I could hear ever about my game. That is the absolute highest compliment. So thank you so much. I really feel like adventure games as a genre are very accessible for people who want to play something at a slower pace, who might not be familiar with this type of game. And the fact that you see the appeal of adventure games, having not grown up with them and not having that nostalgia aspect to it, kind of really fills me with optimism that the Crimson Diamond and other games like it, which like Betrayed Alliance 2, for instance, and Cosmic Void as well, is working on point and click adventure games, and as well as Francisco. All of us were all in it together, and hearing that someone can come in fresh to the adventure game genre is something I think every adventure game developer wants to hear. So thank you so much. And of course, also, thank you so much for finding my whatever I'm doing helpful for your pixel art and for Adventure Game Studio. Because when I have trouble with Adventure Game Studio, I ask Francisco, I ask Gundislav. So we all are getting helped. Hero protagonist. Yes, this quilt. Hold on. Yes. Oh, this is my Nancy Maple quilt. My mom, my dear mom, the best mom in the world, quilted this for me around this time last year, maybe. So she's about a year old. She's made about from more than 1,500 quarter-inch squares of patchwork, and my mom's fabric collection is such that she didn't need to buy any fabric to make this in perfect colors. Everything she had was already available to her, so it's wonderful. She won because she could use up some of her collection and justify her fabric habit. And I won because I've got this amazing, really cozy quilt that's absolutely perfect in so many ways for the Crimson Diamond, because the Crimson Diamond is a cozy mystery and there's nothing cozier than a quilt. And my mom's been quilting for years, so she's really like a master at it. So I couldn't ask for anything more. Oh, good. And yes, Deluxe Tux as well is a relatively recent adventure convert. The absolute best. Absolute best thing we like to hear. I can never hear it enough, so thank you. That's amazing. Oh, good. And you love the text-based commands and interactions that person one too. And that is another thing where I honestly think that the text parser interface, there's something so special and magical to it, to me personally, and I think also for Slat Studio, and also Phil Fortier as well, is using it for Snail Trek and Cascadia Quest. There is just something about it that I can't even explain it. Besides the fact that it's got this illusion of these limitless possibilities. And I love doing dialogue with a text parser. In fact, I just started a Let's Play of Horrorsoft's 1989 surprisingly revolutionary game. Just in terms of the tech that they brought to it, their engine was very advanced for the time. Personal Nightmare. So I will be usually on art streams. Today's kind of a combo stream, art and music. Dan will be on a bit later, maybe around 9:30. But on usual art streams. So next week, Bumblebear, thanks for the follow. Thank you so much. Yeah. So next week, I'll be doing an art stream, so just a full-fledged art stream. And what I like to do is I like to mix it up on those where kind of the last half hour or so I've started to play the Personal Nightmare, which is a text parser game with also kind of a scumbar interface running along one side of the screen. So it's kind of like a mixed bag of interaction styles. But I do enjoy the fact that when you ask people about stuff, you're typing into the parser, ask about whatever. It's just, I don't know. I was so fond of it. And when I started making the Crimson Diamond, I didn't even think about making any other style. Just gonna catch up on chat. Just a Jeffy, welcome. Good to see you. Yes, text parsers rule, just a Jeffy says. Point and click games are fun, but the adventure game genre lost a little bit of something when text parsers went out of style. And honestly, I think there's never been a better time because people can play text parser adventure games on their phones now. And I always keep mentioning something called Adventure On. It's Adventure On, ADVENTURON. And you can play those games for free on. There's an itch.io page for it, and that's you can basically play the games on your phone off a browser, and it's formatted perfectly for the phone, with kind of very good static images and text parser, and it's wonderful. I can't say enough about it. And I once judged a game jam for them, and the engine, apparently I've never tried making something with the engine, but it's definitely on my bucket list of things to do. It is it just seems really easy to use, which is really encouraging because some of the entries to the game jam, they said that was their very first game that they'd ever made, and they were very good. So text parsers are around, and the fact that people are making tools to make them easier to make, just super encouraging. Yes, Jim makes games has definitely warmed up to the text parser more recently. Wasn't so much of a fan in the old days, though it seemed quite clunky, the ones I played anyway. Yeah, I do think they were less forgiving Jim, because that might have to do with this, hard software limitations where they weren't able to put in as many synonyms or something. Um, I know that for me, I've been trying really hard to make the text parser very forgiving and being able to catch a lot of the different words that people might want to use, and just designing the writing of the game in such a way as to be prompts for what the player can see or look at. And I find Personal Nightmares not the best at that sometimes, where if you type look in a room, it'll list some stuff, but it won't list everything that is necessarily present that you might want to see. For instance, we were in a dark room in the first Let's Play that I did, and I think I did look, and it didn't even mention there was a table, so to look under the table was kind of a stretch. And there was another scene where there was a jug that was not shown on screen, and when you looked, there was no water, but you could fill a jug with water. So that kind of stuff is not forgiving whatsoever. So definitely, we try to design something that is easier for the player to understand. Oh, Fura, you made an adventure on game. That's fantastic. Awesome. Yeah, I really. How did you find the engine? Because I've seen it's been used. I think the goal of it of the engine is to make it something that it's easy to learn, and there's apparently lots of good tutorials that go along with it. And you can use it in browser, so it's super available for anybody who wants to give it a try, and it's free. Yeah, I would really be interested in hearing your experience with it for sure. Yes, musically inspired, exactly. Because now with phones, as you say, it seems like the phone where people text often is one of the best platforms for a parser game. Yeah, I people are so used to it. I've said it before in presentations and stuff where I think the time is absolutely ripe to make text parser games, maybe just shorter, smaller ones too. Because yeah, we're so used to typing on our phones, it's not a big deal to play a game like that, and it just really, it's something really comforting in doing that. It feels like you're having a conversation back and forth with the game. Oh no, Cosmic Void 3, you say it's Sierra not using beta players, at least in the 80s? I can buy that too. Yeah, musically inspired, very good point. Exactly. A proper graphic adventure game with a parser should be designed as if it were a text adventure, so everything important is specifically described. Yeah, that's what I've tried to do with the Crimson Diamond, and that's what definitely, if you want players to use a text parser, you need to give them the words that they can use. Okay, Ferroy says of Adventure On, they did a good job with it. The best part for me was it can export to DAAD, and then you can build for all kinds of 8-bit machines like the C64. That's amazing. Amazing. Artistic Coolest is good to see you. Yeah, you've seen it on a list of game engines that are good for adventure games. I would like to see that list as well. Yeah, Jim makes games you would see your hand would seize up if you tried to play text parser on a phone. Well, you could get like I think people even sometimes use Bluetooth keyboards with their phones, and you could probably because you could do it work. If you can play it on your phone, you could probably play it on an iPad that has internet connection as well. So I know people do have Bluetooth keyboards that get paired with their iPad, so that could be another way to play. Ah, yes, Evil Tentacle. One new text parser game you enjoyed is The Infectious Madness of Dr. Decker. You play a psychiatrist interviewing patients about the murder of your predecessor. And you know what? That is not the first time I've heard of that, but it's been the first time in a while that I've heard it mentioned, so I'm definitely going to write it down. Um, Infectious Madness of Dr. Decker. Good evening, Bill Kuhn, by the way. Good to see you. Yeah, so let's see. Uh, okay, so next thing I'm going to do is before I move on to art, I am going to quickly show some holiday card stuff. So this stuff that you're seeing right now is all the stuff you'll get if you become a $5 US dollar patron on my Patreon, which I do have. I don't mention it a lot, but I feel like I should mention it in November and December because that's when I actually send the holiday cards out. And the way I feel is if you, as long as you're a $5 tier patron, uh, by the time I mail the stuff out, even if it's like this month or next month even, don't worry about it. I still will send you a card if you provide a mailing address. And if you're new to the tier, I will send last year's card. Last year's card is a postcard, the Crimson Diamond sticker, and both postcards that I've gotten printed up, which do have a front and a back. And I will show those. But yeah, so that's just hopefully. I don't mention the Patreon a lot. I know I feel like I need to probably do it more, but especially in the holiday season, because it's the one perk that I have, which that actually feeds into a question that I have for you guys. But it's the one perk I have right now for the $5 tier, and I just want as many people to enjoy it as possible. So if you're interested in getting a holiday card this season, $5 tier on my Patreon will do that for you. And here's all that stuff. So here's the card to give you an example of what the size is. And I do handwritten personalized messages on the inside too. On the back, it's got a nice logo as well. So that's the card, last year's card, which you will get. There's also a postcard version, which is a little smaller. And this one is just black on the black logo on the back there. So that's the postcard. And here is the sticker as well. It's kind of, you can't really see it, but the diamond part of the logo is there. It's just the lighting's not very good right now. And here are the two postcards that the green screen is eating just a little bit. But yeah, you get both of these. So the day and the night versions you'll get. And I'll sign all this stuff too. I'll sign everything except for the sticker because it's a little small. I now use a big fat metallic Sharpie. But yeah, you'll get all this stuff as a $5 patron, new $5 patron. And the only reason I'm not sending this stuff to the currently existing $5 patrons is because I think I've already sent this all to them. So, and if you haven't got this stuff as a current $5 patron, just let me know and I will send it to you. Yeah, the green bead on this necklace. Yeah, it keeps on getting eaten. Oh, where'd it go? Yeah, this one. It looks like an olive. Yeah. Yeah, when you have a rainbow necklace, something's going to go wrong no matter what color the background is, if it's getting keyed out. Okay, you can find the list by searching game engines for point-and-click games. Okay, I'm going to look up this. Game engines for PNC games. Okay. Yeah, there's no Patreon thing. There's a timed Patreon note. Oh yeah, and I think the Patreon note is this one. Yeah, there we go. Hi Jim Matt, good to see you, and I'm glad you really like them. Right. And yeah, so that kind of leads me to the question that I have is I am thinking about expanding my Patreon to provide kind of more benefits to people. And I'm wondering for, you guys who come to see the Twitch streams and things, what you'd be interested in seeing. What kind of benefits you'd like to see on offer, basically. Because I do want to have more available, and it's something I've really kind of neglected to work on because I'm a solo game developer, and it's easy for me to say I'm doing everything else to do with the game, so there's the things I just haven't paid as much attention to, but I do want to do some more with my Patreon in the future. So please in chat at any time, during as from today, any day, next stream, whatever, if you ever have any ideas of what you'd love to see on my Patreon, you can just say it here. You could email me, Julia at thecrimsondiamond.com. You can find me on Twitter as well. Anywhere, just let me know because I definitely want to provide some stuff that you guys would be interested in seeing. More art is always cool. Yeah, user suggestions. Yeah, so that's exactly. I would love to have some user suggestions. So that is that. So that's my one big question for you guys: is what would you like to see? Because I already do the Twitch stuff, so yeah, I mean, would like a bonus video be something you'd be interested in? More art stuff or anything else? Just let me know. Would be super good to hear. Okay, what else? I think that's it. So I think we're gonna move on to Photoshop. Make game assets available so we can make fan art. Okay, this is interesting. Okay, this is something I hadn't even thought about myself, so I'm gonna write this stuff down. So, Patreon stuff people want. Okay, so we've talked about art, Game assets available for fan art, aka Voxel Nancy, which I do have a Voxel Nancy, so I'd be happy to share that for sure. Because as you know, I do have my own Voxel Nancy. And this one I did paint myself with just some acrylic paint. But I have gotten this one. This one was 3D printed by Shapeways using the colored sandstone. So this file does exist, and I'd be more than happy to share that. Okay. Let's see. Okay, things I've learned while making my game. Tutorials type stuff. Okay, that's good. I'm going to write all this down. Tutorial type stuff. Okay. Stuff that might help other indie devs. Okay, great. Things I've learned. Okay, things I've learned. Okay. These are all great. Thank you guys so much. Super, super, super useful. EGA demake. Very good point. I haven't done one of those in a really long time, and I haven't even finished a lot of the ones that I have. We did do a Kentucky Route Zero one from beginning to end. I've done a Sailor Moon piece. I did a Animal Crossing. Okay, yeah, that's wonderful. Okay, EGA demakes. Ferrari says a 1929 Nancy swimsuit calendar, so it would be one of those like wool one pieces that are all striped with the neck up to here. Downloads of background art. Cool. Yeah. It's kind of funny because I do tinker with those from time to time, so I would have to give updates because I was actually looking at one of my screenshots and I'm thinking, oh man, the green grass here, it's just solid green. I need to make it look a little more detailed. So that would be something to consider to share. Oh, okay, so Deluxe Talk says, I feel like weekly streams are way more than enough benefit. Never felt any of your $5 was ill spent in any way. By the way, thank you so much, Deluxe Talks, for being a Patreon supporter. It is a big deal to me because I right now I'm kind of working on the Crimson Diamond full time, but I'm not getting money incoming, anything besides occasional Twitch payouts, which are rare, and the Patreon, and then I also take on contracts. I take on EGA portrait commission sometime, but the things that I do the contracts I take on for money, as well as I do them because they're really cool, like the Playdate game that I got to art direct. They do take time away from the Crimson Diamond, which means that it's going to take longer for me to get the game done. And if I can, my main Cosmic 43, thank you so much for the bits. That's fantastic. Thank you. Yeah. So yeah, my kind of goal with the Patreon stuff is to kind of increase the amount of money that's coming in from that. So I don't feel like I need to take on as many contracts necessarily, and I can hopefully concentrate more on the game, which I am doing. But at the same time, a little bit of money coming in is very welcome. Gooseegg PT, good to see you. So a great reward for higher tiers. So that person 122, you say that would be a great reward for higher tiers. Which one would be a great reward for higher tiers, you guys think? Oh, and there's no music? I'm so sorry. Right, the tunes. Thank you. Okay, yeah, tutorials are a lot of work, and that's definitely something for me to consider, is that I'm trying not to promise stuff that would take me more time to fulfill and then take more time away from the game. Probably only higher tier amounts, so. Higher tier amounts, great. Okay. Oh, Dave, I'm glad you like the Sailor Moon. I've got it somewhere here, maybe I can share it. Yeah, I could do poll. Yeah, Jim makes games is a really good point. I can do polls on Patreon, which I am planning on doing, but I wanted to ask you guys first. To do Patreon polls. Yep. Fictional postcards like Nancy visits France. Oh, that's adorable. What I really like about my postcards is these postcards. They kind of look like there's something that Crimson Lodge might have been able to buy at the Crimson Lodge gift shop had there been such a place. So I like that they can function in game like that. Of Nancy, but of course that's another additional art thing that I'd have to generate, and not something that's pre-existing, so it would take more time. So far, the only art that I generate that isn't pre-existing every year is a holiday card of Nancy in other places. But I am writing it all down because I think all the feedback is super important to me. Yes, exactly, Jim makes games. I generally caution against giving yourself too much more to do in addition to the game dev. Supporters are more interested in seeing the game progress. Yeah. Yes, just a Jeffy. You mentioned design a box and PDF manual so you can print it all out yourselves to add to your big box collection. I do have a manual that is available. You can download it from Steam, and it's there, and it kind of does look like a manual from the olden days. But I haven't updated it in a really long time. But it is there, and it's something I definitely plan on providing for people. So you could print out your own copy of the manual, even now. But it is, like I said, I'd probably need to fix it up a little bit. To design a box, and I do plan on designing a box, even if the game does not see a physical release. I do want to at least have a cover, and I do plan on illustrating that. So going back to my illustration roots, to make a box cover that is not just a screen grab of the game, I do want to make an illustration of Nancy, kind of making it look like an old school cozy mystery cover would be my hope. Yes, dear boy, diegetic. Yes, exactly. The postcards, right? Yeah. Serialized short stories. I do want to write, and the Crimson Diamond is the first time I've written anything since I never even took creative writing in high school, so I can't even say it's the first creative writing I've done since high school. It's probably the first creative writing I've done since middle school, like grade 7 and 8. It's been a while, and I've loved writing for the Crimson Diamond so far. So I like the idea of that. It's another thing that would take more time, but it's definitely in the back of my mind as something I may eventually want to do. Occasionally, in idle moments, I wonder what a novella of the Crimson Diamond would be like and how challenging that would be. But it is something that tickles my fancy. Yes, the box. Good. People love the box idea. Okay, I'm gonna put a star beside that. Yes. Yeah, I was looking. My major inspiration for the box art would be something like the Quest for Glory 2 box art. It's kind of done in watercolor, and watercolor is my favorite medium, and my favorite like paint medium. And my hope would be to give myself an excuse to do something really pretty with watercolor. But we will see. We will see. I also really love screen printing. I mean, you guys have seen some of my artwork that was silk screen printed. So that's another option. It would be really cool to do a silkscreen print, something or other, that would be kind of limited color, like even more limited color than EGA, maybe only 3 or 4 colors. I think that could be really gorgeous. So there's a lot of ways to go with it. And I haven't, I've done some preliminary sketches, but I really have no idea of what it eventually would end up looking like. Rock Talk scripts. Dave, I would provide Rock Talk scripts if they existed. I just have a bunch of muddled up notes. But I will write that down as well, because maybe I do need scripts. Oh, cool, Freud. There's a series of books called Briley Witch Chronicles. The author just made a C64 adventure game based on the first books. Mouse, one day in a game dev's life vlog. One day in a game dev's life vlog. Oh, you're putting a short story in your manual. That's really cool, Slash Studio. Yeah. Yeah, so speaking of art stuff, one of the things I actually, something I kind of did before I even started with stream today, is I did make like a 4.5 minute sample video of something I could potentially offer as a benefit to Patreon people. I don't know if they're called patrons or Patreons. Are they called patrons? But yeah, if anyone knows, please say in chat. But what I did was I showed a piece of art I did from college, and I talked about kind of the circumstances around me making it, and why it looked the way it did, and some details about what the class was like. So I did just a quick video like that. So that's something I could easily do as a separate video before stream, because I've already got everything set up. I've got, the lights, and I've got the backdrop all done up, and so it only takes me an extra 5 minutes to do that. And so it's very possible I could do bonus video content that's like a short video before or after the stream that would be completely separate and would be just me talking about something, and yeah, and just showing more art. So that's something that is definitely easy to do, and I could do that basically every week. So that is something. On the video I just did, I said maybe once a month, but that's just me hedging my bets. You're sure it's patrons? Okay, it's Patrons Day of War. Yeah, I don't know the terms. Patrons on Patreon. Okay. These are awesome, you guys, the suggestions. So if you have any more, let me know. Absolutely. Did I even have any other suggestions for myself? Not really. Okay, how about this? This is something I'd like to ask. I said I only had one question, but I have another question. I am planning on putting Patreon backers in the credits of the Crimson Diamond, and would you think that would be something to be offered at all tiers or at certain tiers? I know there's a lot of game developers in here, so I'm kind of wanting to know what you guys think. And I also want to know what other people think, what everyone thinks. So people who are game devs, people who aren't game devs, and are players, would you think it's something that you'd need to have at a higher tier or not? Because that is something I would like to do, but I have not implemented that yet. So. Oh, that's so cool, Deluxe Tux. Wow, your grandmother gave you a subscription to a chess set. They would mail one piece every month until you had all of them. Each one was a custom-made pewter fantasy figurine. I love stuff like that. I love getting stuff in the mail. And I think that's partly why I decided I wanted to do a holiday card that you actually do get in the mail. It's fun. It's fun to get stuff in the mail. Okay, so yes, everyone ordered from highest tier to lowest, all tiers. Good. This is all good to know. I kind of was planning on doing that anyway, but I did want to get opinions. Okay, so all tiers. All tiers. In-game credits. Ordered by tier. By tier. Okay. Good. Jim Banks Games, I think including them all would be okay, but if you get an explosion of patrons, it might be a lot in the end, which is a very good problem to have. I have no problem with that. I can type fast. Grindislav, you just have a patron section in the credits with everyone's name regardless of tier. I also like that idea. No separation of tiers. More egalitarian that way. Mouse Smith is fine. Jim makes games. Can always do a tiny font like the list of CGI people in movies. Yeah. It'll all end in tears. Thank you, Grindislav. Thank you for the dad joke. Dan would appreciate it, but you know what I'm like. Yeah, some games have definitely gone overboard in-game. I wouldn't be an in-game Patreon and backer mention. It would just be at the credits. And I need to make the credits longer anyway, so that whatever end credit music we have Dan compose has its time to play out. Because otherwise, that list of credits is rather short. Real Thick Taffy, good to see you. Welcome to chat. Welcome to stream. We're just about to get started on some art stuff. We've just been talking about potential Patreon stuff because it's something I need to work on. Because currently all there is I think $1 US tier, which is thank you for your support. And the other tier is my $5 US tier, which is a holiday card, and I do want to have more stuff for people. Yeah, I think yeah, for there was a Kickstarter tier for in some adventure game or other where there was with books, and then also there was one that they had for answering machine messages or something. I don't remember what phone book. You were in the phone book in Thimbleweed Park, I think. I'm not. I wouldn't do that. I don't think. That's a lot of work, and it's only me, so yeah, probably not happening. Exactly, Judge Jeffy. Maybe not all patrons can afford higher tiers, but they should all be appreciated equally. And I appreciate every single one of my patrons equally. So that is very true. I think that's a good point. Yes, Octo Tiggy, yes. It was Thimbleweed Park. Thank you for your seconding that. Was the phone book. It was awesome, but yeah, huge amount of work. I could not. And yeah, I just it's tricky because it's always a balancing act with doing dev stuff. Even doing streaming is a balancing act because sure, this could be a night that I could be working on the game, but I find a lot of value in streaming every week with you guys. I think it benefits me quite a lot just in terms of the social interaction, um, and just community stuff. It's yeah, so it's one thing I would not give up. In terms of dialing back and focusing on the game, this is part of that to me. Yes, exactly, Jim. The amount of books in Thimbleweed Park must have been a nightmare. That was probably several people's jobs, and it's only me and Dan. And as Dan likes to say, I'm doing everything. I'm the janitor, and I'm the president, and everything in between. And Dan is doing the music. So we have to be really careful about not only stuff we would promise in game, but just Patreon benefits in general. But I do want to give a good value for people. Yes, exactly, Deluxe Tux. I'm working from home for 2 years, and the social interaction is welcome for you as well. I like to say before I was a game developer, I was a freelance illustrator for 10 years, so I'm very used to working from home. But this is like the extra special level of working from home. It's just it's hard mode nowadays, so we all can appreciate that social interaction. Just to Jeffy, just I'm a little concerned about what happens on Tuesdays after the game is released. No more Crimson Tuesdays. That is something Dan and I have discussed. Because the great thing about Dan, not only is he an amazing musician who can work really fast and do amazing work, but he's always thinking about the future and what we can do in the future, and we don't know. So I started doing the Let's Play because there was a bit of interest for me to do that. So I could potentially continue doing that because it might be the only way I can experience games is if I kind of double dip my social and community interaction with entertainment for myself. So there's that, but beyond that, I don't know. It might be art stuff, like maybe some art learning tutorial stuff or some breakdowns of some EGA screens and talking about those. But I've kind of already done that, but maybe I could expand on that. I don't know. So that is something we're going to have to think about. But that will be a very good problem to have because that will mean that the Crimson Diamond has been launched, which would be like a dream come true. And I do plan on launching it. I promise. But we will see when that might be. Yeah, hello, we're expecting the Crimson Diamond sequel. And I've said to you guys before, I am planning a Crimson Diamond sequel. I have a story idea in my head that I will not allow myself to make notes for right now because then I would just run off and be interested in that more than what I'm currently working on. But I do have, I have definitely some ideas for what that's going to be like, and I'm very excited about that too. So. That person 122. I love the fact that you do weekly streams. Whenever you work on your game, you usually play my streams, playbacks as you work. You find it motivational and inspirational. That is so. I've said before the first thing I love to hear most is when people are new to the adventure game genre say that they've tried the demo and they've really liked it. That's number one. Number two is that they found, whatever stream I do or videos have kind of inspired them to do more pixel art or to try Adventure Game Studio. And number three, the best thing you could ever say to me is that if you play that stuff in the background, like the streams, the VODs that I put up on YouTube, that you find those the motivational, inspirational. Because, yeah, I put them up just because it's not that hard to put stuff up on YouTube after the fact. And if anyone's getting any type of enjoyment from that, that is like amazing to me, and I'm really happy that you're getting something out of it, and that encourages me to just keep on doing it for sure. Yes, Jim makes games. That's another thing. I vote on what game to play on the Let's Play. Yeah, because I do have a pretty embarrassing library of GOG and Steam games, so I could just have a list and people can vote. That's another thing. Okay, so vote on LP games. Okay, good one. Hello, Dr. McKiller. Welcome to chat. Welcome to stream. Thank you for coming. And you say, just wanted to say, I'm very excited for your game. Love the demo. I grew up on Sierra Games. Quest for Glory, Heroes Quest was my favorite, but loved Laura Bow games as well. And grew up in Ontario, so lots of nostalgia there. Love the art. And yeah, welcome to fellow Ontarian. That's awesome. That's fantastic. Yeah, those are my go-to as well. Quest for Glory and Laura Bow games, I would have to say those are my favorites more than King's Quest or Space Quest. I'm with you on that. So. Yes, artistic coolest that happens when you make stories too. Right now you're working on something, but you've recently come up with a completely different one. Yeah, it can be tough because, it's so appealing with the new stuff because the new stuff there's the hard work. It's all fun and not hard work because you're just coming up with ideas and for me the research aspect of the Crimson Diamond was a lot of fun, and at some point you kind of have to cut yourself off. But it's the point when you get down to making the thing where I think things can get a little bit more tricky. Yes, talk about rocks. And Just a Jeffy knows it too. Just a Jeffy, fellow Ontarian. I don't even know if I want to sing it because I could get copyright struck. But I don't know if those give us place to stand and a place to grow, and call this land Ontario. A place to live, a place to grow, Ontario. Terrible. That was not very good, but you get the idea. And there was a song for every province, and we did learn those in middle school. On to the art stuff. Jim, Matt, do you know that song? The Ontario song, Ontario song? That is ridiculous, by the way. That was the lyric. You do know that song? Oh my goodness. I don't know if anyone can make it sound good. Is there a rendition of Ontario that is actually amazing? Because I would love to hear it. Yes, Grindel's Love better than the Epcot Canada song. That, yeah. You've played that at some point. I remember you shared a link at some point, and it's kind of amazing. No, Jim Matt says it's impossible to make that song sound cool. I believe it. But then again, as Canadians, we're not cool anyway, so that's to be expected. Okay, let's move on to Photoshop. Oh, where's the Photoshop? Come on, Photoshop. Okay, yell at me if you don't see Photoshop, because Photoshop is on now. Speak for yourself. Yeah, I would love to hear, I don't know, like a Louis Armstrong singing Ontario. Who could make this sound good? Okay. Not yelling? Okay, so that means you can see this. So, this was the 2019 card. And in fact, is this the animated version? Timeline. No, it's not. No, it's not. Okay. But this is the 2019 version. Now, this is not one of the bonus cards you'll be getting. I have extras of these, but not enough to promise to people. But yeah, this one is, here she is. Let me see the dimensions of this. 375 by 534 is the size. So I think the other cards are that as well. It's just the size that fits the proportion for the greeting card size I use. So there it is. And I think that's the right size, yeah. Yeah, so that's the size I'm using. Good thing Providence doesn't end with orange. Otherwise it would be difficult to rhyme with it. Eating with. Yeah, the only thing I know that rhymes with orange is door hinge, like Curse of Monkey Island. But I did make this piece animate with flashing lights and Nancy winks. Of course, the card doesn't animate, but when I posted on Twitter, it did. But there's that, and of course the chrome letters. Fun chrome letters. The year before that was this card. This one is basically the view of the Crimson Lodge that I reused. And there's Nancy in her trusty gray coat and her green felt hat. That sequence of Monkey Island 3 is your favorite part of the game. That is a great song. That is a great song. I love Chris and Monkey Island, actually. I think it's really good. I mean, it took some getting used to, but I think it's wonderful and gorgeous. Yes, keep the remaining postcards so they become classic collector items. I have to, you know what? I should count how many of that card I have. I have even fewer of this one, but I still might have a few. So I don't know. Maybe I can offer those. Saskatchewan is kind of an odd song to sing to. I can't remember what the Saskatchewan song was. I remember Vancouver's, Ontario's. Uh-oh. Drawing a blank. Yeah, drawing a blank. The game should come with a cloth map of Crimson, like my game did for Vancouver isn't a province. Darn it, Grindislav. Don't shame me with your superior geography skills. Yes, fine, British Columbia. Thank you. Grindislav is a Yankee and he knows better than me. Yeah. No, I knew that, but I wasn't thinking. I'm not that bad. Yeah, so this one is, yeah, and we've got the blue cup from Adventure Game Studios. Kind of mascot is the blue cup, so there it is. That's that one. This was the first thing I did. This one was an animated GIF, but this is 2016. This was not a card, but is it animated? It is animated. Okay, well, let's watch the animation. And I do really like that this timeline thing is here. Okay, so let's see it. Oh, look at that. So we've got some sparkles happening. The snow is falling in the background, and there's Santa getting stuck in the chimney. Grindislav likes to impress Canadians with his geography when he's been drinking. Yeah, so this actually, I don't think I haven't shown this in a few years probably, so there we go. So that's that one. And last year's was this piece. And actually this one is the actual working file. So we can actually unwrap what's going on here. And this is a takeoff of Princess Hyacinth from Alphonse Mucha. I basically just cribbed his design to make mine. We can see there's a nice kind of magnifying glass shape here. Some snow that's kind of like the powder. You can pick up a powder compact in the demo. A couple waterfalls. This nice bit of stained glass, holly, and a giant diamond in her hand. So that was last year's. Yeah, the deluxe I haven't shown the Santa GIF in a really long time, I feel like. Yeah, check out that diamond. Yeah. Yes. Yes, good artists borrow, great artists steal. Yes, Picasso. Okay, so let's look at what's going on in this piece. Because I mentioned before that I do all the dithering last, and you can see all the dithering is in the top layers here. And there's a few versions of things, too. So there's this, just to add some shadow to that magnifying glass area. And this was in here, you can kind of notice it's very subtle, I think. This was here, kind of adding extra depth to that stained glass. This is that brightness here. So you can see there's a lot of dithering going on here, and I'm pretty sloppy with my dithering layers. I often have multiples of the same color. You didn't notice the diamond slash studio. It looks like an Italian salute to you. I get it. Yeah, so this is basically all the illumination for the stained glass. This is additional highlights on the cherry, the holly. This is just texture lighting on the stained glass itself. What's this? These two colors. What are those two colors? That is dark and light green. Dither. Oops. What's this? Oh, this is more texture on that stained glass. You can see it here. And sometimes I do try different versions of things. So this was with the background evergreen trees on the upper part, not knocked out as much. So this is with the dark cyan on top. GMX Games, have a great night. Happy Crimson Tuesday to you as well. So enjoy the rest of your week. And so eventually on the card, it's this darker version of the trees, because I felt like it was taking away from the rest of the design. And let's see what else is next. Oop. Yeah, so this is also to knock back the stained glass. Otherwise, it would have just been a dark black outline, and I felt like that was gonna take too much attention away from Nancy, because Nancy doesn't have any black outline in her, and that would have been a higher contrast area, and I wanted the focus to be on Nancy, so I did this dark gray dithered with the black, so that she comes to the foreground more. Well, I'm glad you like the details that person went to too. And this part here is just the shadow in this blanket. Oops, the shadow on the blanket. As you can see. So I'll do this on its own layer, because I'll turn it off and give it a look and see if it needs that extra bit. And I did think that area needed that extra layer of darkness to it. And this was for this part. I definitely thought that the yellow needed to be brought further back. And here is the blanket as well. This blanket kind of looks like an old Hudson's Bay blanket, these big wool blankets that I think they still sell. And I thought the solid white again would detract too much from Nancy. So the only part that's really white is the Santa hat, the band, and the poof. Hello Video 1990X, good to see you. Welcome back. I'm glad you guys are liking this so far. And this is, this particular pattern is, I think some people call it Canadian plaid, which is this black and red, which works out nicely. I mean, Nancy, is the crimson diamond. It's kind of a red blanket, so that's kind of nice. And it's kind of Canadian. The Hudson's Bay blanket is pretty Canadian as well. I'm glad you like the plaid amberzine. Yeah. And I think that's it for so those are all the dither layers. So that's all the stuff that happens on top. Hopefully, I could be wrong and have no, I don't have other dither layers. Didn't do too badly. Okay. What else have we got here to show? Some of these I turn on and off. I'm not seeing anything change. Okay. Right. So this was, I think, to give some brown to the bottom of this frame to give it some depth. Here. Oops. Right. And this is why I love layers so much. I could not imagine doing this piece just flat. I mean, especially if you're using dithers, because it would just be a mess to move things around, to turn things on and off. Blacked out plaid. So that was another version of the plaid where the lines on it would have been dark gray, but I felt like it was kind of a bit too washed out for me. So I did end up blacking the plaid, making the plaid darker. Yeah, Joseph Jeffy, I have like 5 shirts in that exact pattern. That's normal, right? Well, you're Canadian, so it is pretty normal. I wouldn't worry about it. Oh, wow, I don't know what that is. Oh, that's just white. I don't know what that's for. Kind of cool though. Fixed powder. So this is just adding more powder, and this is the magic of the EGA, where in the shadowed portions, I'm using the dark gray instead of the light gray. Shadow portion, the brown has become the dark gray. The black, the dark blue becomes the black. Light blue becomes the dark blue, and that turns into an effect of a shadow. Snow, lower trees. Okay, yeah, so that's lower trees. With and without lower trees. It might have done okay without the trees in the bottom too, but anyway. Oh yeah, and I put stars in the upper quadrant here. And see, look at this. I did name some of these after all. You know? Corners, just rounding those corners off. And lettering. Yeah, lettering separate. And so other versions of the lettering would have just been like less clean versions. Like I did adjust it slightly. Yeah, I think the M got a little shorter. And the black pattern. That's a bit of a weird one. Santa hat is in its own layer, but you can see some of the dithering doesn't cover the rest of that. Santa hat shadow. Let's see, what does the other Santa hat look like? It's probably bigger. Yeah, anyway. Fixing the diamond. This part. Just small changes, I guess, here on this one. Just is that just for that fold in your hand? Interesting. Okay. Then this is the whole character. Guess she was... Yes, the conspicuously not red diamond. Very good point, the Lux Talks. Just a Jeffy stupid question. That's not. Don't worry, it's not a stupid question. Whatever it is, do we have names for any of the dithered shades of any colors? I've not named them. I just call them whatever the two colors are. But there's no reason not to. This is the shadow on the back of her head here, the shadow that she's casting. Wood grain. And all like the separate bits here. Wow, I'd be going on forever if I just did all this. You get the idea. It's a mess, but it all kind of comes together okay. Which leads us to our current piece, which is this fellow. It's coming together rather well. I've been using this jetty that is in-game as my visual reference of how to treat the trees and what kind of dithering I was using in this piece. Uh-oh. Where did I put my stylus, or whatever it's called? My Wacom pen. Uh-oh. 1 second. I just had to grab the pen. Yikes. Ow. Be right back. Huh, okay. This desk is a mess. Give me a second. Where's the stylus? Hold on, I'm gonna switch back to regular battles. I think that's 112 names we need to come up with. Yeah, yellow, yellow, red, red low, yellow blue. Yeah, finger painting today. Oh my goodness. You know, I'm. There's always something to forget, right? What the heck? Really? I did my sound check, I did the video check, I kept the camera on so we wouldn't have the same issue we had last week. Oh my gosh. Okay. Okay. Okay, we'll figure something out. Hold on, I'm going to... okay. Is it? Don't mind me. Talk amongst yourselves. I'm fielding any questions anyone might have about the development process of the Crimson Diamond or pixel art in general as I just scrabble around and look for the stylus. That's crazy. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna get my backpack and I'll start looking through it. Davor asks, how many pixels are too many? I would say whatever is more than 320 times 200. That person 122 says that this has happened to you countless times. What? Okay. Nature Maple in the case of the missing stylus. Exactly. I'm usually really good about keeping this stuff straight. Hold on. Oh wow. Ferrari says, well, apparently the new Atari owners are going to make 2600 carts again. That's kind of sweet. Where? Holy cow, you guys. It's crazy. Can we solve this mystery? If not, we will be just going with mouse. We will be doing mouse only. It's definitely possible. It's definitely possible. Yeah. It's looking that way. Huh. Well, how do you like that? Okay, yeah, we're gonna do mouse. The show must go on. I will find it, but in the meantime, we are just going to plow forward. We're gonna go really old school today. We're gonna go mouse only. Okay. Where did we leave off? Okay. I think we were working on these background trees, just getting better shapes to them, I believe. Did it roll and fall on the floor somewhere? Anyway, I will find it at some point. At some point. Maybe not today. Okay, I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna stop looking. You're built different. I'm not gonna be dithering with the mouse. I'm just going to draw with the mouse. We've all done this before. Who hasn't drawn with the mouse? It's gonna be fine. And looks like my Photoshop is not crashing again, so that's nice. You have to be positive. Challenge, you make a game using EDA palette only dithered colors. That would be something. Yeah, you could, because some dither patterns are very if you dither with two colors that are very close together, there's no reason why you couldn't actually achieve something really subtle. I've mentioned before that the dark cyan and the darker green are quite close. And I mean, they're in here. These two colors are very close. Oh, wait. These two colors are very close. So from any distance, these two colors kind of blend visually really easily. So that would be something I would look for if I was going to do something like that. Oh, that person went to thank you. This says, this is the first time I've caught your stream live, so I wanted to say that the piece with the old man cleaning the fish turned out really beautiful. Thank you. I appreciate that. In fact, I did add some animation to it. Let me show, I can show that part, I think. Intro for animation. Yes, here it is. This is, yeah, what we finished, and I did add, I don't know if you were here for the part of the stream where I added some like fire sparks and things. So I'll show really quickly what that looked like. Yeah. There it is. Really subtle. Only 4 frames of animation. And the firelight is not playing across the man because I will be animating the man. We did animate the man, but I just have to put them together, and I need to animate the man with the firelight on him separately. Yeah, bright red and magenta Davor also do blend very well, so that's another one you could use. Oh well, for some later C64 games cheated and made new colors by flickering each frame between 2 colors so you perceive a new color in between. That's interesting. That's really interesting. I'm constantly amazed. But yeah, this is what we ended up with. And I do eventually have to incorporate the men with gutting the fish, and then we'll have the full scene. Judge Khan, hi, good to see you. Welcome to chat. Welcome to stream. Once the game releases, this could be a wonderful desktop background using a wallpaper engine. Wallpaper engine, which I've not heard of, so I'm going to make a note. And the page that I made all my great notes on, I cannot find now. It's probably exactly where the stylus is. Okay, well, I'm going to write it on a different piece of paper that will then immediately go missing. Okay. Wallpaper engine. Wallpaper engine. Yes, Judge Khan, I'm doing well, except I can't find my stylus. This desk is a mess. So it's my fault 100%. And as my mom would say, it didn't just get up and walk away. It's somewhere, but I'm not going to spend the time looking for it. It's on Steam, where you can make animated desktop wallpapers. Cool. Okay, I'm going to write that on Steam. That's something that could be a Patreon benefit, is having some animated desktop wallpaper stuff. What if it did, though? Yeah, that's true. Stranger things have happened? Okay. We're just going to continue with this part here, just continuing to build in these trees. You see, I'm trying to create a sense of depth with some of this stuff by making some of these trees smaller, thinner, and eventually I will probably treat them differently with dithering. Oh, you know what? See, I already don't like that because these two trees in the back are the same distance away from each other. So... Oh no. And now that I'm using when I'm using a stylus, I do use the lasso tool as it is, but if I'm using a mouse, I use the polygonal lasso tool, which lets you click, point and click where you want the lasso to be. Yeah, better. Oh, and I did this on the fisherman layer. Whoops. So. Great. It's not studio. Yeah, stop playing keep away with the stylus. You just want me to prove that I don't need the stylus? Oh no, I put it on the letterbox layer now. And now I gotta fill this in this area. I can prove I don't need the stylus. Oh, cool, Judge Con. You used to draw King's Quest style scenes in MS Paint? That's awesome. I love to hear, people use like MS Paint and things. I haven't touched MS Paint in a while, and do they even still have it on Windows machines? Does it still come with MS Paint? Because that kind of reminds me of the same thing as Hugo's House of Horrors. Hugo's House of Horrors was really a huge deal for people and super well known because it was free. Well, not free, I mean, it was shareware. One of the very few shareware adventure games. So its influence was very widespread, and I feel the same with MS Paint, is because it's a lot of people's, probably mine too, first experience with a drawing program. Because, yeah, it was there. Oh, there's still MS Paint. Cool. Oh, wow. Cosmic Void 3 World of Horror is made using MS Paint. That's incredible. Okay. Let's see. That's amazing, Judge Khan. You saved up your money and bought a Hugo 3 trilogy off the shareware rack at Pacific Computers at the mall when you were 8. That's amazing. I swear somewhere, I don't know if I still have it, but I feel like I have some kind of soft disk version of a shareware disc that had one of the I feel like it was the second Hugo game, but I can't remember. I just wish I still had it because it was really cool. And I believe, was it Francisco has the hint books? Oh no, Dan has the hint books. That's kind of incredible. We're all deeply jealous. Amazing, yes. Yeah. You can buy the Hugo Trilogy for $6 on the website. That's amazing. That David P. Gray still has that stuff up. Yeah, I'm kind of wanting to make some trees that are not, that aren't necessarily completely upright. And I would like a lot of depth in this scene, even though it's going to be on the screen for very little. Oops. But yes, it seems like whatever update made Photoshop unstable has now been updated to be okay, which is nice. Yeah, I mean, honestly, at this resolution, it's kind of not too bad to be drawing with the mouse again. Oh, that's your exact copy, Judge Con. Nice. Yeah, I've said before how much I really admire and respect David P. Gray. He was doing the solo indie game thing way before. And I do have, I'm pretty sure I have the trilogy on GOG. Grunislav! Yes, last art stream I used CS2 because I think some update or other must have done something horrible to Photoshop. But I have found that for whatever reason, well, possibly because of the way the GPU was being allocated, um, my CS2 was really chugging badly, and maybe the way new CS software is optimized. I found my CS2 was chugging really badly while I was streaming to the point where it was basically unusable. And so I kind of I did I did move on to Creative Cloud. I had a free trial of it, and when I streamed with it, I found that did I have a free trial? I think might have had a free trial, and when I streamed with it, um, it was way. I mean, it's not perfect, but it was a lot smoother. Oh, well, Style Studio. So you aren't even using a stylus at all. You're using a mouse. Oh my goodness, that's amazing. So it can be done, everybody. And so yeah, I'll continue doing this till I find the dang stylus. I will find it. Just a Jeffy just bought some Hugo. That's the spirit. And I did buy Personal Nightmare from GOG when it was on sale for $1.89. I bought that in Waxworks, so because I'd never played those, and it's hard enough just to play to buy games you've played before, but just now they're so easy. Even if you have them in a box on your shelf, it's just so much easier to just buy the GOG version a lot of the time. That's what happens, and I'm guilty of that, I think. But at least for Waxworks and Personal Nightmare, I'd never actually used them. Ah, that person went through too. So you find a mouse also more preferable for pixel art once you're done with general shapes and stuff? Ah, you see, there we go. So definitely a lot of ways to do this. And this isn't really not going that badly. At all, so. Yeah, money spent on Hugo is always well spent. Yeah, big soft spot for the Hugo series. Because honestly, when you see a game like King's Quest IV when you're a kid, you don't look at that. At least I never looked at it and thought, "Hey, I could do that." But if you look at, Hugo's House of Horrors, you're thinking, "Well, he can do it, so can I." And I think that can be just as valuable, if not more valuable, than the stuff that's ultra professional. I've actually found that there's a sweet spot for inspiration for me when I look at art. It can't be so amazing that I find it completely unattainable. It has to be, you know, like 3 times better than what I can do, so I can feel like, hey, maybe one day I can do that. Blaholtzen, you're too lazy to get your tablet out, so you just do everything with your mouse. Blaholtzen! Oh my gosh. I'm almost glad that this happened because what we're seeing is I had no idea so many people still used the mouse for their artwork. That's amazing. Okay, silver lining to this. Ooh, there's a new browser-based Photoshop clone called Photopea. I'm gonna write that down. Thank you. Thank you, Farai. And Jim Matt. Oh yeah, so Jim Matt says David Peterson, the author illustrator of Mouse Guard, illustrates with a mouse. Yeah. You could also not do that. It would drive you crazy. His work is so detailed. Ugh. Yeah, But to be honest, I'm getting kind of into it now. I'm not gonna lie. Photopea is a Photoshop clone. Cool. Therefore, you people are all criminals. Use a stylus. Ooh, well, Wholesome recommends a vertical mouse. That's because I think I vaguely have seen one of those once, vaguely, a vertical mouse. It looks really bizarre. But Balhoto, you're using a vertical mouse? We're learning so much today. Does anyone use a trackball? Because I hear trackballs are supposed to be excellent. Artistic coolness is you also use the mouse when you do pixel stuff. This has been illuminating. This is, yeah. Now, is it because, I don't know, because when you grew up, when you were growing up, styluses weren't a thing? Are there newcomers to pixel art that are also doing it with a mouse, or do you think they're all kind of stylists? Oh, Sled Studio, it's gotten so bad I have to have the same mouse. I've gotten so used to the size, weight, and sensitivity of a problem. Ooh, a 3D mouse Farai has. And Grunislav hasn't drawn with a mouse since 2007. That's very specific, Grunislav. Is there a particular end of a project that you said no more? Or what? How do you know that so vividly? Or do you just have a good memory? We've been using a vertical mouse for 2 years now. No more wrist pain. Ah, okay. Artistic Ulysses doesn't know about the trackballs, but I've seen people use modded Switch Joy-Cons for art. That's really cool too. Yeah, trackballs used to be a big thing. People used to say that it was you could get a lot more fine-tuned control with a trackball versus a mouse. Maybe they're more ergonomic, I don't know. Anyone out there using a trackball? Oh no, Furry keeps buying drawing tablets. Friends keep borrowing them and you never get them back. What kind of drawing tablets are you buying, Furry? Because that means that whatever you're getting, people really like. Or it could mean that it's free and they won't turn down free, what they consider free. Trackballs seem way drastic compared to a vertical mouse. I've never actually owned a trackball. I think I had a graphic design teacher in school that swore by them, but okay, Dave, so you do know people who have trackballs. You can't match their position. You've got a Cintiq. Yeah, that's the one everyone talks about, the Cintiqs. I've mentioned before, but my the computer that I upgraded from a Surface Pro 2, I upgraded to a Wacom Mobile Studio 16, which I grossly underutilize because I don't really do that kind of painterly. I do pixel art on it. I plan another bucket list item when after I launch the Crimson Diamond is I want to learn how to paint digitally better and not just do pixel art on it because it can do much more than that. Artistic Coolies, you're going to look into those trackballs. I don't know how many companies actually still make them because I get the feeling that they're not that popular if ever they were. Oh wow, just as Jeffy used to have to test all kinds of weird ergonomic keyboard and mice to verify that they worked on your company's Linux desktops. Anyone using an ergonomic keyboard, the butterfly style where the half of the keyboard it's like split in half and kind of angled? Anyone into those? I've never had one. Okay, vertical mice are just like regular mice but with a handshake grip. Keeps your arm bones in a more natural position. So you're kind of moving your hand back and forth? I'm gonna need to look this up too because I think I saw them vaguely once and then I kind of forgot about it. Moved on from a natural keyboard years ago. So what did you move on to? Just a standard inline keyboard? Hard to switch to normal keyboards. Yeah, right now I'm using, just as a quick aside, the keyboard I'm using right now is I'm using this Logitech, currently, as we speak, this Bluetooth keyboard, which I actually really like. The fact that it has round keys kind of did weird me out a bit, but I read a lot of Amazon reviews. This is a exceedingly well-reviewed keyboard on Amazon, and no one said this thing is hard to type with or it's really uncomfortable. It is... I'm trying to look for a model. K380. It's the Logitech K380. It's kind of heavy considering it's, it's the Bluetooth and it's, supposed to be portable. And I bought it along with the Wacom Mobile Studio because this thing only has 3 USB-C ports, and I didn't want to clog up a port with this thing. But I think I quite like it, actually. I had a friend who's gotten into mechanical keyboards in a big way, and he was extremely appalled with this. Because, yeah, the keys are round, it's strange, and doesn't have a numpad, all that stuff. But I'm quite fond of it, and I've not had to change the batteries yet, and I've had it for almost a year. I think it's beautiful too. Thank you, that person 122. I think it's extremely appealing. Numpads are overrated, Blowholton. I get that feeling too. I'm not doing data entry. I don't really need the numpad. Yeah, I really like this. This is so it's a nice small size keyboard, yeah, no complaints. And my other peripheral that I'm using. Oh, you know someone who has this keyboard, Highbury Hazard? Highbury Hazard is a streamer who recently became an affiliate, a Twitch affiliate, so congratulations. Hello, how are you today? I'm doing really well, Highbury Hazard, except for the fact that I can't seem to find my stylus anywhere from my art stream, so I'm using the mouse, but that actually was great because it kind of, it touched off a really great conversation about pixel artists using mice versus keyboards and what other peripherals people are using. But let's shout out Highbury Hazard. Congratulations again on getting affiliate. I mentioned that... is there anything in particular you're streaming right now, Highbury Hazard? What was I gonna... I completely drawn a blank. Oh, Mousemas only uses wired mouse and keyboard. You're really sensitive to lag. Yeah, I can't remember what I was going to say now. I'm sorry, so sorry. Oh yeah, what game are you streaming Highbury Hazard if you're streaming anything? And I did mention, I'm really glad I went to affiliate because occasionally I'll get Twitch payouts, maybe like once or twice, maybe twice a year, I'd say. And hey, it's basically free money, and it supplements the income that I'm getting while developing the Crimson Diamond, and also whatever contracts and stuff I pick up. But so yeah, I'm really pleased with it. Oh, and this is the mouse I'm using. It's a Logitech mouse. Another Bluetooth mouse. This one I like. This is rechargeable on USB-C, and the charges last a really long time. The only thing I don't like about it is, okay, so it's got this metal scroll wheel that's super smooth turbo scrolling, and it's too sensitive for me. I find myself back scrolling by accident a lot of the time, and I still haven't really gotten used to that. But it's got shoulder buttons, which I really like. Those are really nice for navigating between folders on Windows and web pages. And yes, it's a really nice one. The scroll thing, this is way too much for me. Grindislav, you would never show your mouse on camera? How come? Now, that sounds like there's a story attached to that. Oh, you've been playing Vampire... Okay, Highbury Hazard has been playing Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines. Does the mouse have a switch to adjust scroll wheel sensitivity? I don't think so. It's got this weird button here. I don't know what this does. I think it's just a middle click. It doesn't do anything right now. There is an app that you can load up. Oh, David Olgarson, thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. Yeah, there's an app that you can get that might change the sensitivity. So your Logitech peripherals kind of have this umbrella app that kind of governs them all. Oh wow. Hold on. My Twitch activity feed. What just happened? Oh, I've only got activity feed from an hour ago. Okay, anyway. Yeah, mystery mouse button. Okay. Okay. Yes, Grindislav has an old and gross mouse. It's been well loved. I think there's something beautiful about, well-worn things. At least sometimes. I could be wrong in this case. Yeah, mystery mouse button. I guess that's just the middle click, because I don't think... Oh no, Oh no, this scroll wheel does click, so I don't know what the deal is. Okay, let's go back to Photoshop. I don't know what the deal is. But I like the mouse despite the fact that the scroll wheel is a bit much for me. I'm not some kind of, twitchy, like really response timey type of a person with this stuff. I tend to turn my mouse sensitivity way down. Because usually if it's, when it, like on default and I start moving a mouse around, I'm like, whoa, this is just like, it's zipping around all over the place. It's too much for me. I make adventure games. Your mouse has a button under the wheel that clicks. Yeah, mine does too. I've never used it. Oh wow, okay, so you had a streamer friend use this exact keyboard, challenged to play Stair Quest. She couldn't walk diagonally, complained that the arrow keys were too small to use them well. That said, she did manage to finish the game. The arrow keys are pretty small, but I use them when I'm testing the Crimson Diamond. I don't really have a problem with it, but I think the Crimson Diamond is a lot easier than Stair Quest, to be fair. What model mouse is this? This is the MX Anywhere 3. Which is also very highly rated. And it kind of matches my Logitech keyboard, and I don't know, I guess I've always kind of liked Logitech, and they tend to review well, so I went with it. Logitech is also a really cool name for a company. They did well. They do make good stuff, Blaholton, thank you. And also I've got my Logitech webcam that continues to defocus whenever it feels like it. Usually it's a sensitivity change button. Well, possibly. Judge Khan, you've been using your Logitech MBZ105A since 2006. Mouse wheel starting to go. Well, that is an amazing amount of service for a mouse. Yeah, even in fact, I bought like a cheaper USB, USB keyboard for when I was showing my game at events, and I didn't want people touching my personal keyboard, so I bought a Logitech cheaper USB type of thing, and that's still quite a good keyboard. It's the buttons are a little bouncier than I would like typically, but it's totally fine. There was even I think it was a set that was the USB dongle governed both the mouse and the keyboard, which was really nice. Okay, so, the middle button on my mouse on the MX Anywhere 3 is a mode shift button, whatever that means. Tiny joysticks that attach to the key of your keyboard, so they press the keys as you wiggle it. Ooh. Let's see if you discover a new feature on stream. Okay, well, I do know there's some kind of Logitech business on my Logitech. So there's Logitech options. This exists. I don't know if this is what you guys mean. Yeah, Blaholton, lots of bacteria on hands. Yeah, I was not into it. I even bought Lysol wipes and stuff to wipe down the keyboards and stuff. Oh, an update? No, I don't want to install later. So yeah, so here are my two things it's got in there. Isn't that nice? So let's look at the mouse. Can I do anything? Like, what else is it going to do here? Okay. New beta. What? No, I don't want to join a beta for my mouse. Okay, so wheel mode shift. Okay, you're right. Change pointer speed. No. More. Task view. I hope you guys are seeing this, or else I'm just talking to myself. I am anyway, but okay, no, I don't want any of these. I want to adjust the sensitivity of the scroll wheel. Okay, it's not here. Do nothing. Wow. Yeah, I guess you could just toggle it off, or you can just Assign it nothing. That's funny. I don't know why that made me laugh, but it did. Mode shift changed to the scroll wheel between smooth and ratcheted mode. Oh, okay. The mode wheel, okay. You assume the software, yeah, I assume the software would work for your mouse too. Apparently I need to update mine. Okay, leave it on mode shift. Okay, wheel mode shift. Let's leave it on that. Okay. So press it. It's hard to tell here because I think I need something that's going to be more scrolly. What? Okay. Actually, you know, look at this. I happen to be on Slat Studio's Kickstarter page for Betrayed Alliance. And Slat Studio has made his goal. Look at that. Fantastic. Congratulations, Slat Studio, on making your goal. But of course, the more money the better on these types of things. He's, like I said, he is not selling the game. Everyone is going to be able to get the game for free. You don't need to back it. But the money goes toward music, the money goes to art, the money goes to manuals and other, you know, production costs. Not as but just backed it a few minutes ago, which is lovely. Have a great night, Slat Studio. And yeah, my pleasure. You know, you've been doing some really good stuff here. Okay, so let's try to... Okay, so that's more ratchety. Okay, wait, let's mode shift. Yeah, okay, okay, see, there you go. Because now it's doing that awful oversensitive scroll thing. If I press the mode shift... Oh, see? Life-changing. See, this would not have happened had I lost my stylus, which I'm sure is around. I'm not panicking about that. I will find it. But yeah, thank you. Now it's ratcheting and not smooth scrolling. My life has changed. Thank you. But what I don't like is, you know what I'm going to do now is I'm going to unmap this button because I don't want to press this by accident. Why would anyone want to change between these two modes so easily? So let's make it do... I make fun, but I'm just going to make it do the nothing for now. And I might think, if I think of something I want it to do, does anyone have suggestions they want that middle button to do? But I'm okay for not doing anything now because I don't want to accidentally turn off ratcheting. See, this is better. Thank you. I should be able to physically change the wheel mode. Are you serious? I don't know about that. Really? Anyway, it's doing what I want now. Thank you, guys. This is another reason, another value for streaming is tech support. Yeah, black holes. Oh, the smooth scrolling is just obnoxious. And I've been using Adventure Game Studio when I'm doing programming, and I'll end up being in a different place in my code than I wanted to because of the smooth scrolling, and it was awful. So, this has all been to my benefit. Yeah, maybe it feels less slippery now. I think, yeah, Blaholtz and Grindeslav, you might be right. That I can physically feel that it's more ratchety now. That's not bad. Yeah, okay. Definitely, this is a definite improvement. Fantastic. You'll demonstrate on your stream? Yeah, I should be there tomorrow. Grindeslav. Wild West Wednesday as usual at 1 p.m. tomorrow, Eastern? Because I do think I can be there. And I would like... Do we get to see your old gross mouse? If you're going to demonstrate for us? Because now you know that's all anyone wants to see. Are we still switching to Dan tonight? For I said... Yeah, it's 9:45. No, Dan actually messaged me a little while ago saying he can't make it tonight, so you guys are going to be stuck with me for the duration. But we'll go for... yeah, we're going to go for maybe until about 10:30 as usual with this. So it kind of became an art stream. And could I be set up for... I don't think... No, you know what? Let's save Personal Nightmare for a day when I'm kind of set up for it. we're just going to get more work done because it's going to take longer to do the work anyway. Because we're going mouse mode today, even though apparently this is the way a lot of people are doing their pixel art. And honestly, it's really, I feel like I could get back used to this. I'll make sure to clean it first, Grindislaw. Mouse reveal. Yeah, it's kind of another thing I kind of wanted to avoid was a mouse that was like grippy on the top, because those can kind of get weirdly sticky if you use the wrong cleaning solutions on them. I had a mouse, like a Razer mouse, that was like that, and it just got gross. And I tried to put stuff on it to like fix it, and it just never fixed. Just a Jeffy said, at Grindislav, didn't know that you stream. I'll pay more attention. And yeah, I mean, for sure, that's the thing with. I really don't. I know some people say, oh, I don't like repeating myself or whatever, and I'm kind of fine because people are doing other things, and you never know what people are hearing. So it's good to mention stuff occasionally, and then you never know. Yeah, thank you, Blaholtzen. You also second hating the rubber stuff they put on mice. Yeah, so this mouse, it has some kind of, it's slightly rubbery on the sides, but the top part of it doesn't. So this might eventually just be uncleanable, but it doesn't see as much wear as the rest of it. Oh, nice. Deluxe Text, you have a $30 Chinese mouse labeled as a gaming mouse, but it's better as an all-purpose daily. Yeah, I for a long time I resisted, especially during my World of Warcraft days. I definitely didn't have a Bluetooth mouse because I was afraid of like latency and stuff. In fact, in my raiding days of World of Warcraft, I used an Nostromo, which has a bunch of like programmable buttons and stuff. And I had a ball with it. It was so wonderful. And some people use Nostromos in Photoshop. Like they'll have a lot of keyboard shortcuts on it. Deluxe Text, you're 100% wired. Yeah. I was like that for a long time. I just got tired of, for the keyboard and the mouse, the wires on those two things, especially the mouse, because you're moving it around constantly. I feel so much more liberated with these two things being wireless. And I do use wired headphones. The only time I use Bluetooth headphones is when I go jogging, because yeah, it's a kind of a hassle to have that stuff banging around all over the place when you're jogging. So that's the only time I use them, though. Before I tried a wireless Razer mouse, they can't keep a charge when you use them 16 hours a day. Yeah, this mouse, the Logitech mouse I have, I've only charged it I've had it for almost a year, and I might have charged it 3 times. So it's really good on battery life, and I'm using it a lot every day, so I can vouch for it. And now that the scroll wheel doesn't do that annoying thing that I don't like, I can vouch for it even more. Thanks to you guys. What's the next stage of this? I think, yeah, I'm going to definitely put some grounding in. So what you find in a forest where there's a lot of trees, and it's keeping a lot of the sunlight from hitting the ground, so that actually won't be that grassy underneath the trees. And that's kind of what I do in these areas in the jetty shot. So I think my next step will be getting some brown in there. Although it won't stay perfect brown because otherwise it will clash with the riverbank. But I will do brown, and a brown with a gray dither is, I think, what the goal would be for that. And in fact, I'm just reminded looking at the jetty shot, I don't have any evergreen trees in this piece. So I might do some of that. But unfortunately, the evergreen trees are kind of something that is way easier to do with a stylus. But I can try, I guess. So you know what? Let's copy. No, let's not copy. Let's just another layer. Oh, Blaholzen, you have one that can go wireless, but you keep it wired. I had one like that too, and I really quite liked it. Deluxe Tux. For about 2 years, I had a laptop that was great, except it couldn't hold a charge for more than 2 minutes. They give you sort of battery life shell shock. I love qualifiers like that, the Deluxe Tux. Oh, my mouse was great, but it only worked for 2 minutes at a time. But yeah, I think I'm going to add, just in a matter of where. Let's put one here. I think. After just spending time drawing those, I'm gonna get rid of them. Okay. Blaholzen, oh yeah, my old laptop was not made to run on a battery at all. One of those gaming ones, yeah. The Wacom Mobile Studio is not great on battery either. I think it'll last maybe on a full charge, depending of course on what apps you're using and stuff, but my general usage, it might last like 5 hours on a charge, which is not great, but it's not awful. It's not the worst. But yeah, so these types of trees, what I tend to do for them is I will do the bright color first. In fact, what I'll do is I will draw the main trunk. So let's do a main trunk. In fact, let's start a new layer so that we don't have to worry about messing this up. And then what I'll do is I will I like to put a bit of shadow on one side. Oh no, Granislav was sad. I was sad because my trusty old laptop couldn't run Rosewater at more than like 2 frames per second. Then you discover the sprite cache was set on the lowest setting. We put it at max now, it runs fine, so yay. Yeah, actually, it's funny you mentioned the sprite cache, Grundislav, because that's something I noticed when I was working on Adventure Game Studio, is that my sprite cache is more than half full, even though the game is about half finished, and I was kind of afraid of what that meant. But Mousemist looked it up and yeah, said that even if you exceed the sprite cache, it's not going to mean the game won't work, it just might run a little bit slower. So I was really relieved to find that out. I just thought, you know, if people were buying the game on Steam and playing it and they overloaded this weird sprite cache that's like 500 megabytes or something. I don't know how big yours is and how big it can eventually be, but I'm kind of afraid that their computer would burst into flames or something, but it doesn't appear so. It's been a while since I've made a tree like this, so I don't remember how this works. Okay, yeah, let's just do a couple branches. Yeah, it's been a while. Okay, 512 is the max. Okay, I think mine might be... Yeah, I think it might be just maxed, but I think it did that on default, so that's kind of nice. I should check that setting, though. I will check. And Grundislav, what will you be streaming tomorrow? Backgrounds, rotoscoping... Are we working on making the game deck verified, just as Jeffy asks? Suppose you're referring to that Stream Deck contraption? And I didn't know that you had to get verification on that. and what type of requirements they would have to meet any type of verification. Backgrounds Grandislav is making. That's cool. Awesome. I haven't even looked up about Stream Deck, really. Partially because I don't think my game will work that well on that platform. It kind of looks like a Switch, if I'm not mistaken, and I'm not confident that people would want to play the Crimson Diamond like that anyway. And now hearing that it needs to be verified for the platform kind of makes me feel like that's not gonna be something I pursue. Grindaslav, are you gonna try to get that? Are you gonna try to do Steam Deck verification? And it is one of the nice, nice / not nice things about being a solo dev is people ask you if you're going to do something. You can say, well, no, I'm not, because, well, look, it's only me. It's only so much I can do. So, you're assuming the Crimson Diamond will be partially compatible, Blaholton says? Grindelslav says he has no idea what that even is. The Stream Deck thing? I assume it would be, but I'm not going to make any extra effort to put it on a Stream Deck. Because like I said, first of all, I really don't feel like people are going to be playing the Crimson Diamond on that platform. Unless the thing has a keyboard, which I don't think. I'd be much more interested in getting the Crimson Diamond on mobile. That would be where I'd want it. If I could pick a platform, I would say I would want it on people's phones. Because I really think there's a future for text parser games on phone. And of course, like iPad as well. iPad with a Bluetooth keyboard. In fact, what I really like, what I really like about this particular Bluetooth keyboard is you see it's got 3 yellow buttons. This can pair with 3 different devices, and I'm not sure if that's like a common feature. Like same with the mouse, also will pair with 3 different devices. It's got like a weird 3-dot thing there. They will both, and so I can pair this. I've got an iPad, so I have paired this with the iPad as well. So I could conceivably use like my iPad as a word processor or something. So that's kind of nice. Yeah, sure, deluxe text exactly. It could be one of those things you put off, and if the platform takes off, you could do a post-release update of some sort. And that is a really good point. I mean, maybe, the Stream Deck thing will crash and burn horribly, and then, any time I spent toward making my game Stream Deck compatible would have been wasted. So definitely a wait-and-see approach is probably wisest. Yeah, Blaholzen, exactly. An iPad is basically just a computer. Okay, musically inspired says the Stream Deck, just a PC, it'll definitely work. It's got an on-screen keyboard too. Probably won't need to do any special configuration. Well, that's even lovelier. That's the nicest thing I can hear, is that you don't need to do anything. This tree is not working out how I usually do these, so because I'm not doing how I usually do them, unfortunately. But I'm gonna try my best. Speech to text on mobile would be fun. I wonder if that would work. Art Burklaus, good to see you. For once, I'm not about to be going to bed when you stream, but you've just woken up. Good morning or good afternoon or whatever time it is for you. Glad to see you. Good to have you. A voice parser game? Ha. A web-based version, Mouse Miss is saying. I wonder. I mean, that's kind of what's so great about that Adventuron engine is that it is web-based. Steam Deck, not Stream Deck. I'm sorry if I keep mispronouncing that. Yes. Any AGS is automatically mobile friendly pretty well at this point now. The Scum because of Scum VM. Yes, that's a great point. Yeah. Yeah, this I don't know, guys. This tree is not doing it for me. And I've made a lot of these trees. I just your tool is important, I guess. The tool you're using really can affect the outcome. I guess is what I'll say. Because, although, yeah, it has, to be fair, it has been a while since I've made one of these. Just as Jeffrey says, I'm getting a Steam Deck and I have an iPad, just about all other popular devices, but I fully intend on playing Crimson Diamond on the oldest Windows PC possible for running the game. Well, so far, just to Jeffy, we have confirmed that the game will work on Windows. Who verified that it works on Windows XP? That might be the oldest operating system it'll work on. Someone did that a while ago, and I can't remember which operating system it was. You want to give the spruce a hug, Blaholton? You could use all the help it can get. I'm rusty, and I'm stylusless. This poor thing. I'm gonna go in with it looks like Charlie Brown's Christmas tree. I may add some black bits in to give it some depth. I need to spruce it up a little. Feroy, I'm not. That's pretty good. I respect that. Yes, it's a Ontario Science spruce eating with. And playing on a CRT monitor, just a Jeffy, would be super sweet. Yeah, musically inspired. Yeah, XP for sure. Yeah, I just, from what I recall from somebody playing around with what the platform on Twitter, someone had said. I can't. Probably was one of you guys. Windows XP. So yeah. ScumVM only runs on Android and jailbreaking iPhones, right? Can anyone confirm? Yeah, exactly, Artboard class. That's exactly what I think Maximus discovered. Sprite cache sounds like a limit on how many sprites can be loaded into the cache memory at any one time. If that's the case, it only means that other sprites must be loaded into the RAM instead. Unless you're making an action game that shows a lot of new sprites around per second, it shouldn't be noticeable at all. One of my first games, I've loaded my sprites from the hard drive for every draw. Wow. Okay. Yeah. So the assets that I have are so small anyway that, I'm not going to be super concerned about any additional load time. Yes, Edenwaith, was it you then? A verified TCD demo works on XP. Yeah, and someone did try Windows 98 Edenwaith, and I remember that not working. Yeah. Which is too bad. But I mean, as soon as that was discovered, I did update the the Steam store page to say compatible with Windows XP. Because I had said Windows 98 because the notes on that version of the AGS engine had said 98, I think. But anyway, someone did test it, so we decided to update that. Or I decided we. Sometimes I say we accidentally, forgetting that it's just me all the time. Oh, yeah. Oh, Mouse Machine, can you run the Crimson Diamond on a Raspberry Pi? Either way, it's probably eating with. Yes, confirmed for eating with. Okay, just a Jeffy couldn't get the demo working in Windows 98. Okay. Yes, Grunislov says, you heard it here first. Uh, Crimson Diamond coming to the Wii. Yeah, it's coming to the Kinect. I know someone who could do that, probably. And he probably, yeah, and I'm not even joking. He could probably do that. Wow. Okay, it run. Okay, Mouse. Yeah, so you did tweet about it running on a Raspberry Pi. Oh yeah, can you imagine a whole game played by how you search for stuff on Netflix? This is gonna be a barrel of laughs. And yes, our Brooklyn's Crimson Diamond VR. Yeah, I gotta make the whole game into voxels. You know what I could? I would just get an elementary school and say, hey, you guys, would you like to make an elementary school project where you recreate these screens in Minecraft or something? And that could get done probably, and you know, everybody wins. Because what those kids nowadays are doing in Minecraft, I don't even understand. So we could get this crowdsourced. Yes. Yeah, I saw this incredible Raspberry Pi kit that looks like kind of like a Game Boy, like a classic Game Boy, but it's got 4 buttons instead of like the A and B. It's got A, B, Y, and X. And it's this amazing kit that you can just load whatever ROMs you want on it, and it's gorgeous. And I've never done a Raspberry Pi kit before, but I'm just kind of really tempted by that idea. Look at my little tree. It's way too detailed. It looks ridiculous. Okay, we're gonna leave it though. Okay, and we're gonna even give it its own layer. It's got a special name. It's called Little Tree. Oh jeez. Yes, Grindeslave. Yes, free child labor. You know, like you could help the kids learn stuff, and they learn stuff, and I get free labor, and everybody wins. I think. Don't you think? Yeah, yeah, I just the idea of having something that looks and feels a lot like an old classic Game Boy unit, which I still have my classic Game Boy unit, but something that has a beautiful screen that can play, Neo Geo and Game Boy games, Game Boy Advance games, every type of console game on just a little thing. I saw that Legend of Zelda Game and Watch, and it's another temptation of mine. That kind of looks amazing, but it's not something I think I'd actually get because I probably wouldn't end up playing it. The great thing about having just the vast array of console ROMs, the playable is I haven't played a lot of that stuff. I've played a bit of Zelda here and there, so that's not something new. Yes, just like a real diamond mine, Grinda's always saying, which is sad but true. Oops. Oh, nice, Highbury. Highbury has it repurposed my old phone to be my retro gaming emulator, and it works great. Bluetooth 8-bit DOE controller and games all the way to PS1, Dreamland, and PSP. Highbury Hazard, that is amazing. Yeah, I want to do that eventually. That looks like it'd be a lot of fun. There's something about just a little. I was actually wanting. I've seen these little, really cute pocket like full-on PCs that run Windows 10, and they're adorable. And I want one so I can just carry Adventure Game Studio around with me everywhere. Um, which Dan has pointed out. Well, you can just use your Surface Pro 2 to do that, but it's just not as cute. These things are adorable. It like flips open like a clamshell, and it's got a full-on keyboard and everything. And I can't remember what that one was called, but I want one. I know the screen is really tiny, but I've got really good eyes. A not Dreamland, Dreamcast Hybrid Hazard. Okay. Oh, Maple Mystery. Okay, so Justin Jeffrey's asking, what do you want with a Pi again? There's two things I want a Raspberry Pi kit for. One of them would be, I would love to just have like an Adventure Game Studio cute, adorable little thing that I can carry around in my purse. And wherever I am, I could just, use Adventure Game Studio, work on the game, and just be adorable. And I also want something that's kind of got a form factor of like a Game Boy, where it plays every single console game ever made. Those are the two that I want. RetroPie. Is Eating Ways you started playing Ocarina of Time? Yeah, I've never had a console, so it wouldn't be too bad of a way to play a console game here and there. So yes, oh yeah, I was gonna do depth, so let's get into that. In fact, it depends if I want to do a sense of depth the same as this piece, or if I want there to be a sense that there's no, I think I'll do a sense of dense forest like we have exactly in this one. Which means I will be doing a lot of this will have to come down to dithering, I think. Okay. Why don't we get some ground in here? Yes, Judge Khan, have a great day/night to you as well. Thanks for coming by. Next week, I'm not sure what we'll be doing. It could be a music stream. We'll see how Dan's been. He's been really busy lately, so we'll see. If not, I'll try to it could be an art stream / personal nightmare night. And speaking of personal nightmare, there's an amazing streamer on Twitch called Retrograde Tom, who's played all kinds of extremely difficult games with no walkthrough, and he got stymied by personal nightmare. So that just will give you, if you know Retrograde Tom at all, you would know that that is something, because he's really good at playing difficult games. And just in general, he's a wonderful streamer, and I've seen him play some really amazing things. I think he played Elvira a while back. Oh, AGS on Linux. Oh, I see. So that's what you'd have to use for the RetroPie stuff. Okay. Ooh, what's a Retron 3, Grundislav? Oh, Hybrid Hazard, that's awesome. You have a mini handheld Bluetooth keyboard too. You can run ScumVM and DOSBox mobile apps to play old DOS games. That's fantastic. That's fantastic. So right now I still have my selection, that dark green selection, but I've just turned off the guides. So Control H will turn off the Marching Ants marquee is what it's called. At least that's what they called it in school. So it's still there, but I just don't want to see it because it was interfering with what I was looking at. It's a console that plays SNES, NES, and Genesis games. That is also really cool. Yeah, exactly, about Holston. There's something appealing about a little tiny screen and a little tiny keyboard. And I'm pretty small. I have small hands, so it's not too big of a trouble for me. Like I would still be able to use it, I'm sure. So yes, the form factor is a huge deal for me, and that's kind of why, you know, this thing was had so much appeal for me. The form factor of the and then I threw it, and then I threw it at my Wacom, and then I broke both of them. Yeah, the form factor for the Playdate is just so fantastic. It's so appealing. And I did get an email. I'm in the second batch of the early production, but they had to push back their delivery to early next year because of supply shortages. Just like everything else on Earth, there have been so many supply chain issues for so many different companies, so they've unfortunately had to delay shipping. But they also had a battery issue that they had to replace all the batteries on the production models. But I understand everyone is having logistics issues. But yeah, so I do have the dev model. I did order a consumer model and a little case for it and stuff. But yeah, form factor for me is a huge deal, and that's why I want a little tiny RetroPie to play console games that I've never even seen, and play old DOS games that I have, and also use Adventure Game Studio. But I don't have the technological wherewithal to do any of that, so I'm just gonna pretend in my mind and wait until someone has done something where I don't need to do any work and have that happen. Oh wow, you saw Retrograde Tom play a very difficult path and trying to complete Quest of Glory 1 Eating Wraith. What was a difficult path? Was he trying to be with a paladin or something? Just to Jeffy, you say you still feel really new to Twitch even though you've had a Twitch account for years. Look, join the club. I don't know anything about Twitch. I look at people like Dr. Mikachu for inspiration. She has it all, not all figured out, but she's got so many cool like integrations and stuff on her channel. And it's another one of those things where I only have so much time. I don't know how any of this works. So on the little tree layer, I think there's some areas where we can do this. Okay. So this stuff will get blurred back because yeah. So there would be a tree line, but then there would be a part that there is no trees that he's near. So there would be grass where he is closer. Although there should be tall grass here, maybe. But that stuff will eventually get dithered. And I think the final layer of trees might be either like maybe the dark blue, although the dark blue might look too much like it might look too much like the water. But I do kind of want to get more depth in here. So that's too bright, I think. It's going to advance. So why don't we try using the dark cyan? Oh wow, Raspberry Pi 400 is a Pi and a keyboard? Nice. Oh, awesome, Furry. You just got a retro tink and told your nieces and nephews to dig out their ancient consoles and we're going to have a retro gaming night? Nice. Yeah, Art Burklaus. So the wind up, the wind up crank on the Playdate is not to charge it or anything like that. I know that's what everyone thinks when they first see it. It is it is for controlling whatever weird game you can possibly imagine. So of course, I mean, in the first season, I think there's like a fishing game. Oh no, that's not working. In the first season, there's a fishing game, and there's some other stuff. There's one that was made by the Katamari Damacy. I'm gonna do them as cobalt trees for now, but I'm probably gonna change that. I just need a different color. Yeah, the Katamari Damacy dev did something where it's kind of like you're scrolling through a robot's life, day in the life, and so you scroll and he's like running through from left to right. So people are using the crank control scheme in a bunch of different ways. And in fact, the game that I worked on and I art directed, Recommendation Dog, does use the crank in a fun way, but I can't really talk about it. Actually, I'm not hating the cobalt trees right now. Yeah, exactly. Eating with playdate delays. Just a Jeffy playdate delays. But yeah, everyone is having supply issues for parts and things. So, while it's not unexpected for that to happen. Why is this happening? Okay, this H. Because I just want to paint behind. Okay, good. I'm kind of fond of the light cobalt trees for now. Yes, Stefan Hayden, good point. Mikachu is an award-winning streamer now. I don't remember what award it was, but I saw that very recently, and that was super exciting. Yes, therefore says you can say Mikachu has figured out literally all of Twitch. Yeah, Dr. Mikachu, she's a really great streamer, and she's like an encyclopedic knowledge of different game dev platforms. So she can develop in like Pico 8. She can develop in she does stuff in I think Unity. She does stuff in like other engines. Like I don't even know the names of that stuff. Yeah, so she's really good, and she's always got a bunch of stuff She's always working on a bunch of stuff at the same time. Yeah, she's doing some really cool things, and she's a great streamer. So I definitely recommend her if you haven't seen her stream. I don't know what her stream schedule is right now. All I know is that she doesn't stream on the same days and times that I do, because I would love to raid her. She occasionally raids us, but I haven't had the chance to raid her, unfortunately. Oh wow. Okay, so Retrograde Tom in Quest of Glory 1 was trying to break into the Brigands' hideout by storming the front door when trying to still run past the Minotaur and climb over the gate. Are those trees sappy? They could be maple trees, but I don't think they're that sappy. I mean, probably all trees have some amount of sap in them, but not like maple trees. But yeah, these would be dithered, I think. I will add a dither to the light blue trees. But I like just sticking them in there just to keep track of. Yes, okay, Developer of the Year award for Roy says for Dr. Pikachu. If they're sappy now, wait until February 14th. Yes, Deluxe Talks says I recently got around to playing Dr. Mikachu's game Code Romantic. It's a cute game with some great entry-level programming puzzles, very accessible and well made. And that's another thing on my to-do list where I have Code Romantic, or at least I have a beta or something, and I need to play it because I need to learn some basic programming skills. So yes, I'm glad that you enjoyed it, and I hope to play it. Oh, spruces have gum as opposed to sap. I don't know how it works either, Beholton. Yeah. I guess maybe it has to do with a certain kind of viscosity. Okay. Oh wow, your dad used to live in a spruce forest, Beholton. That's awesome. I don't remember what type of a coniferous tree I modeled these trees after, but I did pick a specific one that would have been in northern Ontario because different coniferous trees grow in different ways. Like some of them have branches that come up, some of them have branches that kind of droop down, different, different branch distribution and stuff like that. So at some point I did have some sort of visual reference for that. That of course I can't remember. And now I just look at my other trees and work off that. But it is 10:25, so this is the time where I spend 5 minutes hemming and hawing over who we're going to raid. And it's always the hardest part of the evening. But yeah, so just to recap, during November, December, if you become a new patron, if you become a new patron on Patreon at the $5 tier, you get all this bonus stuff, plus the new holiday 2021 card, which I just started working on yesterday. So I'd like to be very liberal with my definition of the holiday season. I hope to get it out by the end of December. We'll see. I block certain parts of the day out for working on it, but it's usually in the evenings when I'm watching television. So it just happens a little bit at a time. And all the other time I'm working on the Crimson Diamond. So I do have an idea of what I want the card to be like, and I'm looking forward to working on it, but yeah, we'll see. But I did start it, so that's the important thing. Dearborn says, you programmers and pretending to not know programming. Me and Francisco. Francisco definitely knows more than I do. He's made like 14 games by now. So ask him any questions, but I don't know. I only know enough to do what I need to do. I guess that's what everyone would say, but I really mean it. And yes, please, if anyone has any more ideas of what kind of Patreon benefits that they might want to see, let me know. You guys gave me a bunch on a great list that I lost, and it's in the same dungeon dimension as my stylus. But very useful suggestions, and I will definitely be considering them. Next week, like I said, I'm not sure what's going to happen. It could either be like a combo music art stream, or it could be me doing art and then playing a little bit more of Personal Nightmare. We are still on day 1. It's been eventful so far. We've killed a vampire. We've killed a witch. We've killed a hellhound. We saved a lady. Bunch of stuff, and I'm sure there's plenty more to go. So let's look for someone to raid. Yes, exactly. Eastern Orthodox Christmas is 2 weeks later, so like I said, this could mean any time between now and before Valentine's Day, really, right? Yes, and exactly, that person 122. AGS makes programming very easy and understandable. Apparently it's a lot like C# though, is what I've been told. Have you ever used AGS? Because I that's all I know. Okay, whatever it ends up being, you look forward to next week. Thank you, Blauholz, and I appreciate that. Yeah, I'm going to start looking for a Twitch on my computer and see who to raid. If there's anyone you'd like to suggest we raid, please do suggest. We're not going to play the game first. No, you cannot have your pudding until you've had your vegetables. Is that the saying? I can't remember. Well, St. Patrick's Day is a holiday eating with, but I'm trying to, I guess people consider the holiday season over, at least in the mall sense, by the time Valentine's rolls around. And Rory won't be back home until January to check in the mail anyways, so there we go. Lots of reasons why I can put this off. You found someone playing I Have No Mouth and I Must Scream? I'm going to look at my list and see what I got. And of course my first go-to is people playing the Crimson Diamond, which so far has not happened, but you never know, one of these days, right? The Crimson Diamond. Nope. Cup of Crimson Diamond. Just like that. Nope. Okay, next. We can look up. Hey, let's look up Rosewater. I'm not Rosewater. If we see someone streaming Rosewater, we have to tell Grindeslav immediately. Let's look for Lamplight City. Oh, Kilgore Troutson, fellow Canadian retro game streamer. Okay, no one's playing Lamplight City. Yeah, I've got Kilgore Trout right here. He's playing Wrath on Earth. It's a first-person shooter. So I'm not big on first-person shooter. You know what? I have No Mouth and I Must Scream. Is kind of I'm not in the mood for that game tonight. So I'm gonna say no to I Have No Mouth and I Must Scream. But, and of course, one last call to back Betrayed Alliance 2 by Slat Studio, EGA text parser game, and it's hit the goal, which is amazing, but every little bit counts. Yes, thank you, Bill Kuhn. Yeah, that's the Betrayed Alliance Kickstarter link. And he also does like some dev update stuff, which I wanted to read. He just came out with his November dev update, so I do want to look at that. But let us look at who's playing what. And I did notice that we spoke of Curse of Monkey Island. Taco Adventure is playing Curse of Monkey Island, which I think is a sign. Have a great night, Davor. So why don't we raid Taco Adventure, who's playing Curse of Monkey Island? Maybe we'll see the sea shanty. Never know. And I'll see you guys next week, and we'll do something. Oh wow, you snagged a limited release of I Have No Mouth and I Must Scream, just a Jeffy. What was in that? I didn't know they did one. Take care, Blaholton, Burklas. Thank you for making it to stream. It was great to see you. I know sometimes the time doesn't work out, so really great. Grindeslav, have a wonderful night as well. I'll see you tomorrow on your stream. Good night, Mousimus. I'm going to raid Taco Adventure. Oh, thank you to that person who went to too. I'm so glad that you had a great time and that you find the videos when you can't catch the stream motivating, and that's wonderful to hear. And that you're new to adventure games, and that's the best thing. That's music to our ears, to all adventure game developers. So have a great night and hope to see you again. Anyway, it's great. Have a good night too. We're gonna raid up Taco Adventure. Set that up now. Amberseen, great to see you. I'm sorry if I missed you. Raid message will be ahoy, Crimson. Bye bye. Good to see you, Just a Jeffy. Have a great night. Crimson Raiders on deck. And whatever, throw on, whatever the emoji that you have or whatever, if you have it. That'll be the raid message. Ahoy, Crimson Raiders on deck. We're going to take a look at Curse of Monkey Island, which I had a box of, but I think my dad cut it up at some point to save space. I think. I'll have to take a look. But I did have a boxed version at one point, and I do like that game quite a lot. Wonderful. Okay, let me see. See you next week, and thanks so much again for coming. This is always a wonderful socialization for people who don't get out much, including me. Okay. Ready now? Good night.